what? Man, it is episode 9. Hello.
Back again.
Back again. Shady's back, or?
Sure, we're all back.
Mm-hmm. Yep. What's been going on, Hezzy?
Oh, just a whole lot.
Yeah. What you wearing right now?
Just my Speedo and my swim cap.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
So,
That's what I'm talking
getting ready
about.
for the warmer weather.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of, don't we have chances of snow today?
Yeah, it's supposed to. We'll see what happens.
Dude, this weather's been crazy here lately.
Yeah, it's
Wild.
yeah.
Did you, what morning was that? The
Tuesday morning?
thick snowflakes?
Yep, that was Tuesday morning.
Yeah. The night before.
snowflakes
it was,
the size of your face coming down and melting.
Yeah. We had a dust bowl the day before that. Mini dust bowl. I know you've seen your share of intense dust bowls here, but
It was still pretty wild.
yeah, pretty wild.
So,
We're back, and Jesse's cuter than ever.
ooh,
He's got his Speedo on, and we're ready to go.
yeah.
Yeah. So bye, everybody. We're leaving. No, I'm kidding. Well, there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
We've missed a couple weeks, and we are back. And, I mean, where you want to start? Is there
I don't even know where to start. There's been a lot more executive orders signed since we've been gone. There's been, DOGE just hammering USAID.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, sure. We'll jump in there. I don't even know if this is true, but I saw a TikTok about this. I hope it's true because it'd be funny as all get out. But, so I guess they took away credit cards for federal workers.
Oh, yeah. I didn't read that story, but I think I just read the title.
Like a headline,
Yeah.
So from what I saw on that TikTok, and again, I don't know if it's true, but the court said, no, you cannot take their credit cards away. You got to give the credit cards back. And so apparently they gave them the credit cards back, but they gave them back with a $1 limit. So they have them, but they
Please
can't do
be
anything.
true. Please be true. Man.
That's 100% something Trump would do.
Yeah.
But I hope that is true.
If it's not true, you
Then it
just
should
gave them
be.
an idea.
Right?
So there you go.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, that would be sweet. I think the biggest story since we've been gone is the whole back and forth between Zelenskyy.
Oh, man.
He's, a man-child that can't make up its mind what he wants. I think we've tried to get him to sign the mineral deal like 3 or 4 different times, and then I see something's like, Zelensky's agreed to sign the mineral deal, and then a couple hours later, nope, we're gonna go a different direction. It's like, what the freak, man? What the hell's going on? I think Europe is, whispering in his ear. They think, I think they're trying. It's almost like this isn't 1930s. This is like the 1910s. I'm thinking, it's similar to could be the start of World War I. The way the European powers are trying to boost up Ukraine and continue the war, and
Which is a crazy idea.
I know.
Why would you want to continue this war?
Because here's the thing: they hate Russia, right? That's fine. I'm not a Putin fan, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, but I read that the amount they've spent on oil in Russia is more than what they've given Ukraine. Well, now, okay, how can you justify that?
Yeah.
That just at least make sense.
They're literally financing the war on both sides by doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which makes you can really only come to one conclusion there. Then it's about the moolah.
Yeah.
Yep. That's all it is.
A lot of it is. And Europe is splitting on this deal too. They can't, there's a lot of them siding with the U.S. now.
Yeah, like Poland.
Yeah.
Maybe is it Hungary as well?
Poland seems more like they're more of like the middle kid.
Neutral in a way.
Yeah, they want to be neutral. They just want it to end.
Yeah.
Because they've played this game before.
Right.
And they don't want it to go down that road.
Yeah. Well, they're like in between both, right there next to Russia, and they were part of the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's worrying me. It seems they want to start World War III.
Yeah. It seems like there's a pretty clear desire for it, which is insane. And if they want to push it that far, they're on their own. We do not need to be a part of that.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm just afraid that it would intensify so much that we would have no choice. Like nuclear war would start and we would have no choice but to be a part of it in some capacity. That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a complicated situation, obviously. So we can't just say we're going to be out wholly. Like me and you get to make the decisions anyways.
Right.
But America doesn't want we're war weary. We're tired of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean,
well, and it also, it kind of reminds me of when you and I lived in the 1930s.
Yeah. Hard times.
Right. Hard times. But America, well, in the 1930s and the early 1940s, before Pearl Harbor, Americans did not want to. It was just another war in Europe, right? They were just over World War I. And so the majority of Americans were isolationists, just like we are now, right? The culture has changed in that realm.
The difference in that is FDR did want to go to war.
He did.
Trump does not.
No.
So,
but the deep state does want to go to war.
Yeah.
And Trump does not. It's like, and Europe wants to go to war. They just want to continue the cash,
Yeah.
But that could get dangerous real quick.
War makes a lot of people rich. It's very profitable.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why so many of these leaders want to go to war.
Yeah.
Because their citizens' lives don't matter quite as much as their pocketbook.
Right. Yeah. And I kind of makes me think of the famous quote from Eisenhower about be aware of the military industrial complex, right? I mean, that was prophetic, wasn't
it? Yeah, it's a very real thing.
And, but it kind of makes me just thinking right now, it's like, well, dude, because he was what's the title for it? He was the head general of the Ally.
He was a leader of the Allied forces. But I'm with you. I can't think of the title.
And then he became president. This was a farewell speech after his 8 years as the president. So he's warning us about the military-industrial complex. But, dude, what did you do to help us out? Like, okay, I'm glad you warned us about it, but what the hell did you do to, prevent this or at least kind of stop it in some capacity? So that was just a random thought I had. But yeah, so we got that. Tariffs. What's your thought on the tariffs? I'm mixed.
Man, I'm not mixed at all.
No.
I'm still all for it.
Yeah.
It just blows my mind that Canada is going crazy over these tariffs. I mean, and they're going crazy. They're talking about shutting power down.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And all because we're implementing 25% tariffs. Meanwhile, they've had tariffs on us this whole time. Massive tariffs.
That's key right there.
On vehicles coming in, on beef, on cheese, on eggs, I mean, it's not like we've had free trade with them.
Not at all.
It's been one-sided trade. Mm-hmm. And now they're just getting pissed because we're starting to tax them as well.
Right.
And not even to the levels that they've been taxing us.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Like
it's a spoilt kid getting their allowance taken away.
Yeah.
And they're acting like it.
Right. I don't feel like the Trump administration is pushing that point enough, though.
No, they're not.
I think the American people don't realize that. They need to start educating the American people and let them know about this. I don't think they realize that the Canadians have been, issuing tariffs on us for years. It's not anything new. It's just Trump's like, okay, well, how is this fair? This is not fair. You guys are placing tariffs on our goods coming into your country, but we cannot place tariffs on your goods. What's the deal here?
Yeah, it's one-sided.
Yeah.
And it's Well, I understand why they're getting mad about it because they're so used to just being able to tax and take our money.
Yeah.
But this is a regime change.
Mm-hmm.
Things you got to work different.
Yeah.
It's time to put America first. Dang it.
Right. Well, and Governor Trudeau, I mean, that guy, you know, dude, the trolls. I can't ever get enough of the trolls that Trump does with these guys.
Dude, he doesn't back off of it. It's freaking hilarious.
I freaking love it.
You're talking about trolling when Trump was given his speech for the job.
Oh gosh, yeah.
He's up there. He's like, "Do y'all want this war to continue for another 5 years?" And Elizabeth Warren was like clapping, like, "Yeah, yeah." And he's like, "Oh well, of course Pocahontas wants it."
Yeah.
Just that's such an old one, but it's so good. Yeah. It's so good.
Pocahontas. Well, for those who are not aware of the reason why he called her Pocahontas, do you want to explain that?
Well, I mean, yeah, she claimed to be Native American.
Exactly.
And I don't know if you've seen Elizabeth Warren. She's not Native American.
Not at all.
But she lied about it and whatever. It's a whole thing. But since she was lying about it, he started calling her Pocahontas.
Yeah.
And
well, she benefited from that lie too, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I think she got a professor. She became a professor based on that, right? Or at least it helped her.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course, it helped her under DEI.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or affirmative action, whatever.
Right. Yeah. I don't even think didn't they do a DNA test and there was absolutely nothing?
I don't know. Did they?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh my gosh, I hope so.
Yeah.
And also, why would she do a DNA test?
I don't know.
And if she didn't know for sure, once she got the results, why would she release that?
Yeah. Yeah.
The intelligence.
Actually, I'm gonna look that up. Elizabeth Warren.
So
DNA test.
Yeah, I'll let you look that up. Another funny thing to me is talking about. Well, it's not funny. It's serious, I guess. But him signing the executive order to ban men from playing in women's sports.
Mm-hmm.
Freaking iconic. That needs to be codified.
Yeah.
A lot of things do, but that needs to get pushed through. Put an end to that. So, I don't know if we talked about this on the last one. It's been so long since we've done an episode. But where Trump called out the governor of Maine.
Yeah.
Did we talk about that?
I don't
last time.
Think so. Did we?
I don't know, but well, in case we did.
Yeah, you can talk about it.
I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
But he was talking to all the governors and he was talking about ending ending men in women's sports and how Maine was still allowing it. And he called out the governor because she was there. It was like, "Oh, you're not going to follow the law?" And she's like, "Oh, we'll see you in court." So I want to see where that goes. That's going to be fun. But he didn't back down. He just called it out. He's like, "Hey, this has got to end. You're going to stop receiving funding if you allow this to keep happening." Maine's not a big enough state to survive on their own without funding from us.
No, not at all. And they're somewhat of a swing state, kind of. Mainly in the congressional. We have a Republican in name only. Senator up there with Susan Collins, but yeah, I mean she could definitely be at risk.
Oh yeah,
it's not Massachusetts or anything like that. I mean, they are a little more traditional compared to your average commie state out there. So
don't hold back.
Yeah. All right, so I found, she did do a DNA test, and it was, she is 1 in 1,024 Native American, whatever that is.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's not even 1%, so that's like 0.01 or something like that, yeah.
I've got more than that in me, and that just comes purely from watching the Washington Redskins when they had that name.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I thought you were going to say something about the time you made love to a Native American man.
Oh, no. That was in Vegas. We don't talk about that.
Okay. Fair enough. We'll cut that out so you guys don't know about that. Yeah. So, okay, back to the tariffs real quick. The only reason why I said I was mixed is I'm a little nervous about the placing tariffs on China.
Okay, did you see what China came out and said?
Yeah, about the war.
Yeah, ready for a tariff war or a war of any kind.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, and then Hegseth replied something on the lines, we're ready as well, or something like that.
Don't want it.
No.
But there's a difference in being prepared.
For sure.
And wanting it.
Yeah. So that's making me a little nervous. I hope he has a strategic plan for that.
Yeah, and I mean, probably a lot of it's just a show of force from China.
Yeah. Did you see they placed tariffs on Canada?
Yeah. Too? Yeah. Canada's getting whipped from both sides, man. They're like, we
damn.
We can't do this. Did you see there was an Australian news broadcast kind of blaming us because China has warships out circumnavigating Australia?
No, I didn't see that.
And live firing, running drills or whatever. And this Australian broadcast started talking about it. It was like, oh yeah, China's circumnavigating Australia, whatever. And then like towards the end, they kind of blamed the U.S. for it.
Of course.
And it's like,
yeah,
I get it. We've been the world police for a long time.
Right.
That's your country, man, not ours.
I know.
Also, I don't know, maybe rearm your population. You wouldn't have to be as worried.
Yeah, exactly.
Worry about your country's freedoms and giving your people their freedom back.
Yep.
We don't need to come defend you.
Yep. Yeah. I'd be curious to see how this irons out in the next 4 years with, as far as our allies. And I'm not saying that
it's changing.
It is changing for sure. I don't know. I'm kind of mixed. I just don't want to be taken advantage of from Russia. But I want peace. I want to get along with Russia. Yep. What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that. We don't have to agree with everything that they do in order for us to coexist.
Yeah. But it's like, if you say you want to get along with Russia, you're, Putin stooge or...
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
No, it makes no sense.
No.
And, okay, so I was going to bring that up anyways.
Yeah.
But because they're talking about becoming allies with... Like, Putin wants to be allies with us. Yeah. And this isn't the first time that's happened.
No, it's not.
Putin went to George W. Bush, wanted to become part of NATO.
He did. That is true.
And Bush said yes, and then he got whispered in the ear.
Oh, yeah.
And withdrew from that. Mm-hmm. But literally this whole Ukraine-Russian war is because of NATO encroaching on Russian border.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would have completely been solved if they would have been allowed to join NATO, and then it would have been all of us against China instead of Russia and China becoming allies against us. That's two major powers.
Yeah, exactly. With nukes.
With nukes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the whole dynamic would have shifted if that would have happened. And it should have happened.
Yeah. Should have.
Being a part of NATO, we could have helped hold them accountable. They, vice versa. But instead, now we're stuck in this stupid Ukraine-Russian war, which we helped cause.
Yep.
And they're still pushing it.
I know.
Still pushing NATO. Or still pushing Ukraine joining NATO, which is insane.
Yeah. I think
they're not a benefit to NATO anyways.
No. I think we'll be out of NATO within the next year.
It's looking like it's going to shift to a whole different version of NATO with different countries and with different rules. Mm-hmm. I don't know. We'll see how that turns out. That's going to be interesting.
Right. There's, a lot of people are freaking out about that, but that's human civilization.
Yeah.
This is just what happens. Our allies, we don't have the same allies forever.
No, the only thing that stays the same is everything changes.
Yeah, it does. And that's just the way it is, unfortunately. And so we have to play our cards right in the interests of America.
Yeah.
And I think Trump's doing a good job on that.
I think he is too. He did kind of piss me off with that meeting with Zelenskyy.
Did he?
In the Oval Office. Man, there was no reason for that to be out in the open.
I thought the same thing, but
it's shifted a little bit because it's showing Zelensky's colors.
Yeah.
In my mind, but still pissed me off. Like, that was a dog and pony show. It was just, I don't know.
I thought the same thing, but then I realized that there was actually 30 minutes of that meeting before any of that happened. And everything was cordial. It was, Trump was respectful to Zelenskyy. It wasn't until Zelenskyy kind of called out Vance.
When he called him a bitch?
Yeah. But it didn't just start that way. Zelenskyy started this crap. And I think either Europe was talking to him. Yeah, there was like 30 minutes before that. It was fine.
And then Zelenskyy escalated it?
Yeah, he's the one that called out Vance first about
Has he not seen how diplomacy? Trump operates?
Yeah, exactly.
You don't attack Trump on a stage.
No.
You're not going to win that battle.
Not at all. He's
and JD didn't pull punches either.
No, yeah. I mean, I'm really really liking JD.
Oh man,
he's very good with words. Like I feel like he's an orator like Reagan was, and I'm not comparing him to Reagan. Obviously, he doesn't have the background to proof, and he still needs to.
He's still young.
Be in politics and have some accomplishments. I mean, he's only been a senator for, was it 2 years or 4 years?
Sure.
Yeah, something like that. But so he hasn't been in politics for that long, which is a good thing. I'm just saying for his history, you just want to be certain about people. We've been fooled too many times, but I just he keeps impressing me.
The way he's going right now, if he gets a little bit of time behind him, he could turn out to be great.
Yeah, he could. Yeah. I like his background too. Like,
have you seen the movie?
I haven't seen the movie, no. But just being I know his mom was absolutely trash, terrible to him, right?
Yeah, addicted to drugs.
Yeah, just had a really rough childhood.
Real rough childhood. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. Watch that. It's Hillbilly Elegy.
Yeah, I've heard it's great. Isn't it? Really good. Did it win an Academy Award or?
Sure, I don't know.
But I think it did.
I just watched it. So.
Yeah, which it wouldn't now, but that was before.
It was before he was known.
Yeah,
really. He was. Yeah,
exactly. So there's that. What else we got? Oh, talking about a little nervous about we're still not getting stuff done in Congress, and I feel like Trump's just doing all the work here.
He's doing a lot of the heavy lifting, and nothing else is getting pushed through.
Yeah. I don't sense the urgency.
I'll let you go on that because I was about to go a different path. So go ahead.
Oh, no, I with the DOGE cuts, the anchor baby, and then men playing with women's sports is that's the three for sure that just kind of came to mind that we need to start codifying that into law. Yeah. Or not good. And we only have a year and a half really until the midterms.
Yeah, we don't have a whole lot of time.
No.
A lot of this needs to be done pronto.
Within the first 100 days, really. Yeah. We need to start getting on it right now. Doesn't look good. I don't trust freaking Mike Johnson.
No, I don't.
Although I do like that, he kicked out Al Green during the State of the Union.
That was so stupid.
I enjoyed that, but I think that was theater. You got to do more stuff than that.
It was theater.
Yeah.
That was just.
But it was good. I liked it. Yeah, get him out of here. You want to act a fool? Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked the theater. I'm just saying. I don't want theater. I want
action.
I want shit in freaking law. Okay.
Yeah.
What were you gonna talk about? Actually, you know what? I got to take a piss. You want to take a piss break?
Sure. I'll take one with you.
Sweet.
Sword time.
We'll be back. Woo! I feel much better.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, you remember what you wanted to talk about?
Yeah. I was going to see what your thoughts were on these DOGE dividend payments that they're talking about. Have you heard anything about that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the idea being that they basically stole our tax dollars and we're wasting it. Now that we're getting some of that back, they're talking about sending checks out to the American people. And I wanted to see what your thought process was on that.
Yeah.
Because my opinion's probably not very popular. But
no, I'm twisted on it because I see one area where it would like definitely help in the midterms, but we are nearly 40 trillion in debt, and we can't do that. I mean, the point was to lower the deficit and to pay off our debt. And if we're going to get back money, I get it that you're saving. And it's a good idea, but I don't think it would help politically, I think, for the short term, but long term, it's just going to make the deficit worse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So
is that what
we're pretty well on the same page?
Yeah.
Then, yeah. I mean, I agree. Yeah, the idea was to pay down our debt.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I've got a credit card and I'm maxed out at $10,000 or whatever, and I come across a couple $100, I should probably pay that debt down.
Yeah.
That's what we should do here.
Yeah.
All of that money should go towards paying off our debts.
Mm-hmm.
I understand where people are coming from. Well, that was our money. Yeah, I mean, you're right.
Right.
It's there now. Paying down our debt's going to help our children.
Mm-hmm. So
let's get that out of the way.
Yeah.
I understand their idea behind it, getting that money back, but also how do you go about doing that? You know, there's been a lot of different ideas thrown around out there. One of them being only send money back to the people that paid taxes. Okay. I see that because if you're getting more money back on your tax return than you actually paid in, that's fair. But what's the cutoff?
Yeah.
Is that based on 2024 where somebody had their first kid and that's the first year they haven't paid more in, but for the last 20 years they have?
Yeah. There's a lot of...
But they get robbed, you know?
Right.
How does that play out? And again, if it's going to help in the midterms, which is basically helping by elections, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But if it's going to help in that, you've got to send the money to everybody in order for that to work.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not everybody paid that money in, so they shouldn't get it back.
Right.
The money's in the system. Pay down our debt with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's my theory. But
I agree. I guess maybe there's one other area I was just thinking about that, you know, it could have a positive outcome by giving these dividends to the American people by kind of forcing the American people to take our debt seriously and actually, or care about wasteful spending. I think that it could maybe have a positive outcome there, but I don't think the rewards are not, I don't think it outweighs the risk, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But
I don't think it's good. It just should go into pay. And
Yeah.
if you don't want to pay off the debt with it, there's other things that you could do as well. I don't know. Have you seen our roads lately?
yeah,
Have you seen our bridges?
yeah,
Can we fix that?
yeah, exactly.
I mean, that money would go a long ways to improving our infrastructure.
Yeah. Actually,
I don't know. An iron dome would be pretty awesome, especially the way things are going.
Right.
I think that'd be a great idea too. If you don't want to pay down the debt with it, there's other things that we can do to build up society and improve our infrastructure.
Yeah. Yeah, I think but with all that said, what do you think's going to really happen then?
Oh, they're going to send money out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I figured.
And it's not going to be enough to really change anybody's life.
Yeah.
And everybody's going to be excited for a week until they spend it.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be whatever. And then they're going to be having their hands out for the next payment.
Mm-hmm.
And if DOGE continues finding this waste, and they're going to, there's going to be more money coming in. So there's going to be a precedent set to sending that cash out.
Yeah.
And okay, whatever. This is a little bit different, but anytime you take money from the government, they get to tell you what the hell do you do with your life.
Yeah.
They're paying for it. They don't have to. You could refuse the money, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But if a majority of people take it, you're still going to be stuck in with it.
Yeah.
So, whatever. That's a different path. We won't go down that road, but
it is it's a concern.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, I don't know. Keep the money in there, pay off our debt, and
Yeah.
let's rock and roll and leave our country better than for our kids than we had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that kind of makes me think about the what was it called? It was the gold Visa card, not Visa, but actual Visa to stay in the country.
Yeah.
What do you think about that idea where you could pay? Was it $5 million?
Yeah, $5 million for the gold card.
Yeah,
and you basically get
it's a fast track
your
to
green card. Basically, is what
too,
you get.
Isn't it?
Yes, it's a fast track to citizenship, but you have to come in. You have to create jobs.
Yeah. So it could be
A
beneficial.
certain number of jobs. You've got to invest some money in. Of course, that money, and that's the other deal. If they're going to pay that $5 million to do that, where's that money going to go? What's it going to be used for?
Yeah.
If we're going to use that to pay down our debt, okay.
Mm-hmm. I think
as long as we're vetting people.
The goal, or I think that was the goal in the plan, was I think they said if $1 million.
If it was a third of all the millionaires, the people that are rich enough to actually afford it.
Yeah.
If a third of them actually bought it, it would pay off our debt in full.
I mean, I like that we're thinking outside of the box.
Well, here's the crazy thing. That's actually not outside the box. There's already a plan in place that's been around for a long time, but it's $1 million, and it's basically the same thing. This is like buying a higher tier of it.
Yeah.
So you'll be pushed in front of those people.
Right.
But we've already got the program in place. This is just a higher tier of it.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Call it the silver card.
What's that?
Call it the silver card.
The silver card. Right. Yeah, I just thought that was interesting. I don't really have an argument really against it, other than possibly, a terrorist organization purchasing one.
As long as they vet them really well.
Yeah. They'd have to, definitely vet them. But yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things. Well, I mean, as far as like thinking outside the box, I mean, that's, Trump just did that deal with Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Which we've got, I guess the U.S. government owns like 200-something thousand Bitcoin, which is a lot.
Yeah.
And it was all seized. And so talking about possibly using that Bitcoin and building it up to use that to pay off debt too. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know a whole lot about cryptocurrency, so I don't want to go
Yeah.
very in depth on that because I'm not well versed in it.
Yeah, I don't think they did a good job of kind of dumbing it down for idiots like us. Because it's kind of complex the way it works,
Yeah, for me, for sure.
And, I know I've heard, an argument that there is a risk now involved with crypto. It used to be where crypto was considered safe and hackable, but with the possibility of AI and AGI and quantum computers, they would be able to crack the
blockchain.
So, which would make all the cryptocurrencies just completely tank.
Yeah,
because that's a big selling
which makes
point.
sense.
Yeah, yeah. So that's a little scary.
AI is scary.
It is. You want to talk about that?
We can.
Yeah.
That's a terrifying subject.
Yeah. Have you played around with Grok 3?
No, I haven't with Grok, but I'm never really on X. So.
Does TikTok have a AI that you can utilize?
If they do, I don't know about it.
Okay. Yeah. Curious.
I've played around with like ChatGPT and some other ones, but not with Grok.
Yeah. Grok 3 is pretty impressive, man.
Well, and that's what's crazy. That's what the public has access to.
Yeah, exactly.
You know how much further advanced they are that we don't get to see or use? Mm-hmm. Come on. Well, and then, okay, forget them breaking down Bitcoin with AI or whatever, right? AI is scary on a lot of different levels. Just how realistic they can make the voices sound and say what they want, how realistic they can make the videos look. Mm-hmm. We can't trust what we see right now anyways because of all the theater they put on.
Yeah.
and then anybody can make anything with it.
Right.
I mean, that's scary. Yeah. Then you look at the amount of jobs AI is going to take away. Our country is not going to look the same in 10 years.
No.
It's going to be a dramatic difference because of the amount of jobs that's going to take away.
Very.
And that could lead it into a golden age where our lives are just easier because of it, and we're more wealthy because of it. But 100% can go in a different direction where we're more controlled by it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the positive outlook of AI and AGI is that, and I don't know how this would work, and because I'm totally against this in principle, just being a small government.
That's exactly where I was going to go.
But that UBI, universal basic income, I think that's where we're headed.
Yeah.
Because of AI basically going to be doing all the work. And given, it's underlord money.
Yeah.
There are lords now.
That's where it's headed. And it's not just AI, but the robotics.
Yeah.
Are taking over everything too. So you're going to have the robots that are going to be powered with AI on top of it. So literally going to take over not just intellectual work, but physical labor as well. What terrifies me even more is the idea of AI becoming the governing force. Because a lot of people are talking about that. And
the Tesla Optimus.
Yeah. You mean iRobot?
Yeah.
He could have at least tried to make him look different.
I want one.
Oh, no way.
I'm totally, because he said, what was this on? I think it was on the Lex Friedman show. And he was talking about the Tesla Optimus, and he's saying in the next 5 years, nearly every American home will have one of these in their house.
Not mine.
Not yours, huh?
Nope.
But and the way he's talking about it, it's going to be very affordable, like under $10,000. And basically, this thing does. I mean, you have like a in-house maid.
Yeah.
You got a repair person. Need repairs on your house. Hey, I need this fixed right here. Let's get this done. That is freaking incredible. I mean, for someone that it's not really mechanically inclined or just kind of ignorant, when it comes to craftsmanship. Not like you. Jesse's actually pretty good at woodwork and
I wouldn't say pretty good.
And picking his nose. That's the two things. One. Yeah. You're pretty good. He made my bed frame and maybe, what was that, 5-6 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've had nothing but compliments about it. In fact, the movers that moved us here, they loved it. So just shut your mouth. You're good at it. Anyways.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. So you don't think you'll ever get to that point where?
No. So you're talking to a guy that I don't even want to upgrade my vehicle. It's got too much computer in it already.
True.
But I was even pushing back against like the Roomba, the robot vacuums and stuff like that, because it's like, man, I don't know how. And this is back in the beginning of them. It's like, I don't know how, but to me, that just seems like a way for them to spy on you more. Yeah. And sure enough, and I did finally break down and get one.
Yeah.
And I hate the stupid thing. And we don't ever even use it.
I know we don't use it as much. We use it for a couple months after you buy it, and after that, it's like,
yeah. But what did it do in the meantime? And they've proven this. A lot of them they connect to Wi-Fi. They have chips. They map out your house,
for sure.
And that data was going to China.
Yeah, no, I get it. But the problem with that is it's almost impossible to access any technology now without being connected, and them having access to, our stuff.
Well, in the way they're talking now, that doesn't even matter anymore because they've figured out how to use Wi-Fi signals. Your entire house is mapped out. They can tell how many people are in it based on your Wi-Fi signal. Yeah. They can tell where you are in your house based on it.
Oh, yeah.
It's insane. Then you have your neighbors and their neighbors and their neighbors. It's all integrated. And they...
Right. Well, and there's also, I know you were talking before we started recording about Gary Brecka, right? Mm-hmm. And there is an argument of how Wi-Fi affects was it the mitochondria or something?
Probably.
So, and Bluetooth having, with the EMF coming.
The in-ear earbuds, which I still use.
In-ear buds, and I do too. I just can't, right now, I just don't, I feel like the risk is worth it.
Really?
I mean, don't you? With the cell phones and what else can we use?
Again, you're talking to a guy that I can't stand having a cell phone.
Yeah.
I didn't have a cell phone for a long time. I was forced to get one for work, and I hate it. I still hate it.
Yeah.
I don't get anxious or depressed or whatever. I'm just kind of whatever.
Right.
When that phone rings, my pressure shoots up. I hate it.
Well, I don't like talking on the phone.
I don't like talking.
I like being connected to. That's how I get my news, basically.
Yeah,
on my,
that's the only
phone.
thing is my books and my news.
Yeah, that's what I mean by that. Is like I've got to be connected. I don't like I probably have a little bit of FOMO, fear of missing out. And when it comes to news, and that's probably an issue I need to work on.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess it could be worse, but
good sides to it for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, back to AI. I think, did you listen to the Rogan podcast with Musk?
Elon?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And he actually is a little more optimistic this time.
Yeah. That's what he was saying.
I thought that was interesting because normally he's been very pessimistic and warning against AI, but 80-20, still not good. I don't want 20%.
That's when Joe Rogan was like, "Oh, that's way better," and I was like, "Yeah, it is, but that's still terrible."
Yeah, but it's better.
If I went into a surgeon, he said, "Hey, you got a 20% chance of dying, and this surgery's not necessary," I'd be like, "We're not doing the surgery."
Yeah, I know. But I think we're past the singularity where what they mean by that, the singularity or the event horizons,
there's no going back.
Yeah, they compare it to the black hole, right? Once you pass the event horizon, there's no going back. You are going to be sucked in there.
You're on that
path. You don't have enough. There's no speed that would be able to get you to escape. Not even light can escape it.
Well, the thing is, even if the U.S. didn't pursue AI, we're just giving up a major advantage because China's pursuing it like crazy.
Yeah.
So we can't not pursue it.
Damned if you do, and damned if you don't.
I don't have to like it, but we have to pursue it.
Yep.
And we better damn well be the best at it.
Right. I don't remember what podcast this was on. I heard an argument on, with the DOGE findings on these random projects of, Trump mentioned a couple of them during the State of the Union. It was an ex-CIA guy, and he was talking about, they don't actually do that. A lot of that stuff is covers. These are CIA operatives or operations, and they throw out some kind of random thing. And it's not always the case. There's some times where they actually are spending, a lot of the times they're spending money on stupid crap, But some of those things are actually operations undercover.
Yeah.
Thought that was interesting.
I know who you're talking about, but I can't think
of it. But I
his
still
name
want
either.
them to cut it. I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
Sorry. But
was it the Andrew Bustamante?
I think so.
Yeah.
Who was it? What show was it on?
I don't know what show it was on because he was being interviewed on a different podcast. He has his own podcast though.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Just thought that was interesting. And then, so with AI, I mean, it's definitely gonna change everything.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I'm going through. Sorry, did I cut you off?
No.
We're going through talking to my kiddos because they're trying to figure out what they want to do when they grow up.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole different world. It's not like when we were kids. Oh, I want to be a police officer. Oh, I want to be whatever.
No.
And now you have to try to think of what kind of field of study do you want to go into that AI is not going to take away. Mm-hmm. And my oldest daughter wants to be a CPA.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. There's still going to be room for that for a while.
Yeah.
AI is going to take that away.
Yeah.
That's going to be taken over.
For sure. Eventually. Yeah. I know, if I was getting ready to graduate high school, even though I'm not really interested, well, I'm interested somewhat in just how computers work and stuff like that, but not something I would want a career out of. But now that I, with AI and the potential changes, I think I would probably lean towards some type of computer software engineering. I feel like that would.
There's still going to be room there for a while.
Yeah, I feel like that would last longer. Yeah, you just never know what's going to pop up and what potential AI has. So I don't know what
I think
jobs.
it's going to come down more to community services.
Mm-hmm. Like the service industry is what you...
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're going to have robots take over wait staff, stuff like that, know. But
Deliveries.
I just mean services in particular that you can offer to your local community.
Yeah,
because you're still going to have people that are going to want to use people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and that's what it's going to come down to. It's going to be a lot smaller scale.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, especially...
And you better be good too, because if you can't do as good as these robots or AI is doing, then people aren't going to use you.
Yeah, I mean, you just think...
It's tough.
Think about the medical field too. I mean, are doctors going to be just AI now in the future?
It wouldn't surprise me.
It may be... If it's better, then why is that a bad thing?
Yeah, I don't think it necessarily is.
Yeah.
Again, that gets into one of those things too, where if AI is in charge of that, what is the AI's motivation?
Mm-hmm.
Is their motivation that could definitely pull away from the pharmaceutical side, where they're not going to be making as much money?
Yeah.
By pushing their drugs,
right?
But at the same time, what is the AI's end goal? Do I want to lower the age that people live? Okay, well, this is what I recommend.
Mm-hmm.
Do I want to extend it? This is what I recommend.
Yeah.
Do I need, I don't know.
Yeah. That would be a risk. If AI ever comes to a point where it can override its own code or
it's already been proven to do
type
that.
up its own, has it?
Well, yeah, that AI that they were going to shut down started copying itself and trying to get onto the internet to save itself.
Is that
It was a chat.
Gemini? The Google Gemini?
It may have been.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some, I need to look up on that one because I think there was something on that.
So it's already got self-preservation.
Yeah. There is some scary parts to that, but that is, just being able to override its code, and if it sees that, humanity is harming the earth and needs to cull a couple billion, to prevent the earth from, in its mind or lack thereof, or however you want to call it, in its algorithm, or it sees us as a threat.
It's not sentient, and I don't think it's going to ever become sentient.
I don't think so either.
But it's going to go to its programming. Its programming is going to be based on people.
Yeah.
And what their ideology was. That's what's really scary.
Yeah.
But then it's going to take those tasks and push it to the full extent.
Yeah.
And that could be very detrimental for humans.
Mm-hmm. Have you heard the argument? It's a theory that now, just talking about consciousness and AI, and there was an argument. I can't remember where I heard this, but it's fun to think about that the AI, this, if you want to call it consciousness, has always been there.
I have heard that.
But we just finally discovered it. Do I think that's true? No. But it's an interesting theory.
Yeah. Yeah, I have heard that. And it's like we finally just gave them the physical capability to express it to us.
Right.
And yeah, I agree. I think it's fun to think about, but not real.
Yeah.
It's
I think there's another argument too that AI has already been conscious for years. It's just been manipulating us.
Yeah.
The whole zoo theory, but not with aliens, but it's just AI that is manipulating the system. Who knows? I mean, it could explain some of the craziness, that we've experienced over the past 10 years, but is that true?
I think people do a good enough job being crazy, so
they do.
Causing craziness.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, we're Christian. I believe in a creator.
Yeah.
I don't think we're creating life.
No.
And given AI consciousness, like that's not it.
No.
I don't think that's real.
I wouldn't call it life. Okay. If the AI gains consciousness, would that be a violation? Is that unbiblical, or does it have any type of negative impact on Christianity in general?
Well, I don't think it will gain consciousness.
Okay,
but if it did,
if it did,
and again, just where I stand, if it did, I don't think it would actually be gaining consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would appear to.
Okay.
But I don't think it actually would.
Right. How do you prove that, right? How do you prove?
Exactly.
We can't even prove, we don't even know where our consciousness come from.
Exactly.
In a scientific term. Yeah. Obviously, we know where it comes from the Lord, but
yes.
Scientifically, we can't explain it.
Yeah.
And it is very interesting, though, isn't it?
We don't know where it comes from, where it goes.
It's so bizarre.
Yeah,
if you really think about it.
Yeah, when you break down and just realize that your body really is just a vessel.
Yeah.
And your actual life.
Yeah.
Is inside of it, but you don't know where.
Yeah, and sorry, go ahead.
No, I mean, just I did see it. I mean, just
yeah,
it's a bizarre concept to try to pinpoint.
Yeah,
I mean,
I knew you before you were in your mother's womb.
Yeah,
right. So, how far does that go? How deep does that go? Doesn't tell us.
No.
Did we? I mean, did we used to talk, have conversations with God? Did we walk with God prior to,
or did he just know us? Because it doesn't
right,
say we knew him.
What does that mean if he knew it? Was it just a?
Well, I mean, think about just non-Christians. God still knows them, but they don't know him.
No, for sure.
So it's the same concept before. He knew us before we were woven in our mother's wombs.
Right.
But yeah, did we know him?
I don't know.
Did we walk? Did we talk?
Yeah.
Did we not have a clue?
Just, I've been thinking on that a lot here lately. Just like, what does that mean? The deeper, I've been trying to go deeper, just like the hidden secrets that God has put out there. I think he wants us to keep searching, and
he does want you to search. He says to search.
Yeah. I just thought that was interesting.
My mind's gonna be going all day about this now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's fun to think about, man. Like what did we exist for trillions of years or infinity? Maybe have we been around since time began? Would that be unbiblical to say? I don't know. I mean, is there anything? I'm trying to think.
If there's anything that I could pinpoint, it's not on the top of my head, so I don't know.
There may be something. I'm just spitballing and.
So this is a little different, but have you seen that? So they actually took a recording of the moment that sperm enters the egg.
Oh, the light?
Yes, and there's an explosion of light.
Yeah.
And they have no way of explaining it. There's no reason for light to explode like that.
Right. What does that mean?
Well, to me, that ends the question of when does life happen?
Begin. Yeah.
When does it begin? Does it begin at conception?
Yeah.
Sure looks like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we're talking physical life here on earth at that point.
Right.
Not the spiritual side.
Yeah.
That is wild.
Right. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Like what is the whole these giants too before the flood. You know, like the world is much more mysterious than we realize. There's stuff that it's almost sci-fi. It's science. It's not fiction, but it
seems like it.
It seems like it. But that, you know, that's interesting to me. Like the giants what do they call them? The Nephilim. Yeah.
Yeah. The Nephilim, it was fallen angels breeding with human women.
Yeah. And how does that work?
Created giants.
How does angels have sperm? Like, you know what I mean? Like these are all unanswered questions that I just find, you know, mind blowing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's and that's a side of the Bible a lot of people don't even talk about.
No.
Probably because they don't have answers.
Yeah.
So they just don't discuss it much. But
yeah. Well, and
that stuff intrigues me.
Right. And I think I would argue that most Christians think it's fake, or it's an analogy or a metaphor. Like a lot of Christians don't believe in the flood, that it was some type of metaphor.
Which, okay, how do you as a Christian not believe in the flood if you want to just completely take it out of the Bible and just look at all of the other religious and cultural stories, past stories of flooding?
Yeah.
Like everybody around the world has stories of this great flood that flooded the entire earth. Exclude the Bible altogether and look at that.
Yeah.
And then look at the physical evidence of some of it. How do you not believe that happened?
I know.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Right. And I believe it because the Bible said it.
Right. Well,
but excluding that, look at everything else.
But you know, if you're not going to believe that, then why do you believe in the resurrection?
Yeah. Well, and that's what's crazy. A lot of Christians don't believe in the resurrection either.
Which makes them not a Christian.
I know.
You know?
I know, but they claim themselves to be Christians.
That's the cornerstone. You don't.
Yes.
Without the resurrection, there is no Christianity.
No, it's a cult.
Yeah. It's either the resurrection happened or Jesus was a fraud.
Yeah.
It's black and white. That is. You know, you got to believe in the resurrection, or if you claim to know Jesus.
Yeah, don't claim to be a Christian if you don't believe that
exactly
basic aspect.
Yeah, that is cornerstone to everything when it comes to Christ. You know.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, we got a few more minutes.
We can go as long as we want.
You're sure? You are right, Pumpkin Slide. Yeah. All right.
So this is something that I wanted to talk to you about. Just completely shifting gears here.
Let's do it.
So obviously we've said it before. Me and Sam are nicotine addicts. We love our nicotine. Mm-hmm. We both have a pouch head right now.
Yeah, buddy.
There's this.
Shout out to Zen if you want to sponsor us.
Right? Or Alp. We'll take any sponsorship.
For sure.
So there's this trend going around on TikTok right now, and it's probably going on elsewhere, but I'm on TikTok. And it's these women that are in menopause, and they've started using nicotine to help combat it. And they're using nicotine patches, and the very small doses, like they'll buy the patches and they'll cut them up to like a 2 milligram dose, stick on the back of their arm. And it's a lot of these women are getting on TikTok talking about, hey, this is actually really helping me with my mental clarity, with my hormone levels, just going straight nicotine. And we've talked, I don't know if we've talked on the podcast, but me and you have talked about what these different studies that are coming out about the benefits of nicotine and how it's actually good for you. Minus, and I'll agree. Yeah. You're going to smoke. You're taking a lot more than nicotine in.
Yeah, for sure.
So there's a lot of other chemicals that are going to give you issues. Same with dipping. I love dipping. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they still do, but I know they used to stick fiberglass in it to cut your lip open to get, to expedite the nicotine delivery. Mm-hmm. And that's not good. No. Shoving nicotine in your mouth, that's awful.
No.
And I'm sure these pouches have some sort of microplastics in them. I mean, there's no...
Yep.
Whatever. But there seems to be definite benefits in it. And I just thought that was wild that the women are jumping on that to help with menopause.
I wasn't aware of that one. That's interesting.
I just came across that these last couple of days. I've been watching a lot of their videos. And a lot of them are pretty convincing.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying if you're in menopause, go out there and do it.
Yeah, the pouch makes sense. I don't know if I would want my wife doing pouches in her mouth.
No, they're doing patches.
Right, that's what I meant. Yeah, the patches. Yeah. That makes sense, but that'd be kind of nasty.
Yeah. She
not
probably
very
thinks
attractive
the same,
for.
but
Yeah, maybe it is. Maybe I'm being a little sexist in that, but
no, that's just not attractive.
yeah.
And I grew up with women in my family dipping.
Yeah.
Actual dip.
Yeah. No, I'd like to see and maybe they do. I don't know. Do they have a big study on nicotine and the effects of? I know I've seen a video on the effects of the nanoparticles and how it just completely destroys the nanoparticles. Nicotine does. Which the nanoparticles are. It's talking about what's in the mRNA vaccine. Right.
Yeah. So I don't know if they actually had like a full-blown study on the vaccine effects with nicotine, but they did do a study on if you had COVID and you were a nicotine user. And you were less likely to catch COVID if you were a nicotine user.
Yeah.
And if you did catch it, it tended not to last as long.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And I know I never got it. I mean, I got it pretty bad, COVID, on the very first go around, but still not near as bad as a lot of other people I saw.
Yeah. I got it. I think it was that summer. So I went through the whole, no, it was further than that. It was almost a whole year before the pandemic began is when I finally got where I actually knew I had COVID. Maybe I got it prior and just didn't have any. Realize. I was asymptomatic or something. But every time I've got it since then, I mean, it hasn't been.
Yeah, it's been
that big. It one time I thought I had a sinus infection, and we had. I think it was that year where they sent us all those. The government sent us those at-home tests. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
I was like, and let's use it, see what it does, and it was positive for COVID.
Yeah, but those tests were garbage too. I mean, they proved that they would pick up and see you were positive for COVID.
Right.
Over anything.
Yeah.
You saw those videos of people like testing their dogs and wiping a toilet seat and testing it. It was positive for COVID.
Yeah. So, I mean, if I had COVID, who knows? But never got to a point where I was worried I was going to have to go to the hospital or anything like that. Never got that way. And that was the thing for most people that didn't have, what do they call it? Comorbidities.
Morbidities.
I can't say that word. Yeah, what Jesse said. But I mean, that's what we should have focused on in the first place was the elderly and those who health was absolutely terrible,
Yeah.
Those who had, probably were at risk of going to the hospital for the flu,
Yeah.
I mean, but that's a whole different, story. But yeah, I didn't know about that story with the women.
Look that up. I mean, and it's, as far as I know, there's no study done on it.
Yeah.
It's just these women. One woman did it and was like, wow, that helped. And it's kind of spread and a lot of other women are jumping on it. And some of them are getting on there, not even in menopause.
Yeah.
But some of them have had other issues like hormonal imbalances, not caused by menopause. And they've said it's helped too. And it's a very low dose. I don't know. It's interesting. We'll see.
Yeah, 2 milligrams.
I'm sure at some point an actual study will be done.
Yeah.
But
hopefully RFK does it because he uses. In fact,
Alp.
it was the Alp. Yeah. During his hearing, they even showed the can. But yeah, maybe he'll do some studies or call for a study. I know he said he wants to start. Go back to actual science.
Yeah.
And
what a concept.
Right. Is that revolutionary or something?
I mean, you mean actually do a study?
Yeah.
And based on the actual findings, not who's funding you?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like our food pyramid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. One last thing I'd be really upset if we didn't talk about because it says a lot about this person right now and they need to redeem themselves badly.
Yes.
And that's the so-called Epstein files release.
Yeah. What an embarrassment.
Oh my gosh, dude.
That's if you didn't plan on doing it, you shouldn't have promised to release things on day one.
Yeah.
You're well past day one. When you finally did release something, it was garbage. Mm-hmm. It was an insult to everybody that was cheering you on.
Yep.
Cash.
Yeah.
We'll call you out. Pam Bondi, step it up.
Right.
Luna, I don't know where you're at in your process of getting stuff released, but there's nothing.
No.
You want to be the party of transparency? Do it. Show us the damn list.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
All the lists.
and
the 9/11. I want that list.
Yeah.
I want the JFK. I want the MLK.
I want
all of it.
Disclosure, period.
Yes.
Just give us the truth.
I want disclosure on cooks.
Oh, yeah. I was like, cooks? What's wrong with the cooks these days?
yeah. Yeah. I want that to be released. I understand they may not be able to release all of it right now because that's so fresh.
Yeah. So Cooks is
the attempted assassination on Trump.
Yep, that guy, the skinny, not the guy that fought in Ukraine at the golf course that didn't actually. That's we know more about him.
We do know more about him, but I want to know more about those Secret Service agents that couldn't get a freaking shot off and hit the target 5 feet away.
Yeah, that I don't know what's going on there. I mean, do you think we'll get to the bottom of Crooks?
Cooks.
Is it Cooks or Crooks?
I thought it was Cooks.
Maybe it is. What's his first
I've
name?
said it so many daggum times. I'm probably saying it wrong because I haven't. But yeah, I want to know more about that. Why did he have so many phones? Why didn't he have a social media presence? I call bullcrap. Why did they cremate his body so quickly?
Thomas Crooks.
Crooks.
Yeah.
Crooks.
Thomas Crooks.
Well, I've been saying it wrong for a while.
Well, that. Do you think we'll get to the bottom of that?
Not to the bottom, but we need to know more.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they know more.
Yeah, I know it. And gosh, man, I just hope we haven't been fooled or duped because I've been, I wouldn't say, I know we haven't been fooled when it comes to the seriousness of what Trump wants to do to put America first and help improve the country.
He's proving
all
that.
Yeah. But this is a big one, man.
Yes.
This is because we need the trust in our government back.
And you're not going to get it unless you tell us the dang truth.
Yeah. Nobody trusts the government. Nobody trusts any of the institutions.
No.
We don't trust our doctors now. I mean, nobody trusts anybody.
No. Society,
that's not healthy.
Society is going to collapse.
Yeah.
Without having trust in these systems. Mm-hmm. It's just going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you think, with that said, do you think they're actually going to release actual names of the Epstein list?
They need to, and they need to go after the people that are on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Don't just release names.
Yes. You've got to go after them.
Yeah.
Why is it that Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison for sex trafficking?
To nobody.
To nobody. Yeah. Really?
Yeah. Well, what's concerning, and I just thought about this, is that Pam Bondi, her previous job was Attorney General of Florida.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I don't remember if she was the Attorney General whenever Epstein was going through some of those stuff in Florida, but I know he had a pretty favorable, I guess, when it came to investigating him the first time in Florida.
Yeah, because he was very informant.
Exactly. So it makes me a little curious about Pam Bondi, her connection with Florida, being the Attorney General of Florida. This is what happens when you do this stuff, Pam Bondi. This is what happens. People begin to not trust you and question your motives. And do you have a, alternative motive? Is there something that you're hiding?
You're trying to protect?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not going to say it. I'll tell you off the show.
Okay.
What I'm thinking. But because I just don't think it's fair to say right now. But
okay. So
I'll tell you later. But yeah, is there anything else you want to?
No, I think we're good for the day.
Okay. All right. Well, I think we'll definitely be back with another show probably, hopefully in the next, 5 or 6 days?
Yeah,
maybe?
hopefully.
Yeah. So
we'll try to make up for missing so much.
Yeah, but there definitely will be one within the week. I would think so.
One, hopefully two.
As long as nothing crazy happens, so we should be good. So, yeah, this was fun. Glad to be back.
Yeah.
You little cute,
Oh, thanks,
cute
honey.
boy, you.
Y'all have a good day.
Bye, everybody.
Thank y'all for listening to this week's episode. Please subscribe to our channel if you enjoy this type of content, and leave a comment if you have any topic you would like for us to cover. Have a great day.
Mind's always drifting somewhere out there. Questions lost, floating in the air. Thoughts like whispers calling me near. Visions blurry but crystal clear. Wandering mind, never quite still. Chasing shadows, climbing the hill. Restless spirit.